Ladies and gentlemen, is it the calm before the storm? Well, relative calm before the storm. Or is the worst over in the Middle East? That is the question that the world is asking 3 days after Iran struck inside Israel. While Israel continues to go after the Hamas and Hezbollah, it has not so far retaliated inside Iran. In a moment high in optics, Iran's supreme leader delivered his first public sermon in 5 years. With a gun on his side and thousands watching him in Tehran, he called Iran's strikes public service. Ayatollah Khamenei also grandly declared Israel will not last long and that it was impossible for them to defeat the Hezbollah and the Hamas. Listen in.
كل ضربة ينزلها أي شخص وأي مجموعة بهذا الكيان إنما هي خدمة للمنطقة بأجمعها بل لكل الإنسانية. هذا الكيان الخبيث بلا جذور ومزيف ومتزعزع وقد أبقى نفسه قائما بصعوبة عبر ضخ أمريكا الدعم له بلن يكتب له البقاء بإذن الله تعالى.
Ladies and gentlemen, Khamenei's appearance has come at a time when reports abound that he is on Israel's hit list. Meanwhile, Israel's military continues to strike Lebanon and has said that it has eliminated the head of Hezbollah's communication networks, Mohammad Rashid Saqaf. Earlier in the day, I spoke exclusively to Rabie Narsh, who is the Lebanese ambassador to India, about the ongoing war in West Asia and why the Lebanese government continues to back the Hezbollah despite the fact that the Hezbollah has brought the war into Lebanon. Listen in to this conversation. Ambassador, thank you very much for your time here on Mirror Now. Can I start by asking you something that is in the headlines right now? It is being widely reported that the man who was to be Hezbollah's next commander has been taken out by the Israelis in your country, in Lebanon. Is that something you can confirm or deny to us right now?
Thank you, Shreya, and thanks to your channel, and greetings to you and to your viewers. Actually, I have no clue or no information on this act that you mentioned. Not a statement, official statement from Hezbollah or from the government. So I have no information on this.
Can I ask you a statement that has been made by a foreign minister that has now been questioned? Your foreign minister on record has told CNN that a day before the Hezbollah commander was taken out, was killed in Beirut, he and Israel's Prime Minister had actually agreed to a 21-day ceasefire. Can you give us more details? And who exactly told the Lebanese that Netanyahu had agreed to the ceasefire?
Yes, that's true. Lebanon side, whether is Hezbollah or the government, they both have announced that they agreed on the ceasefire from their side, and they got some preliminary information that also the Israeli side has accepted this. But it turned out that this ostensible acceptance of Israel was part of a plot to assassinate Hassan Nasrallah. So yes, we did what you just said, and what mentioned by our foreign minister is true, and to whom it was, with whom it was conveyed by the Western and I mean the international convoys who were envoys who were doing these good offices between the parties concerned.
So are you telling me that Israel misled, say, the US and France?
True.
By telling them they are agreeing to a 21-day ceasefire.
True.
So that
and,
they could...
Netanyahu was delivering his speech at the United Nations General Assembly, and from there he gave his orders to carry out the operation to assassinate Sayyid Nasrallah. So yes, it's part of the plot to as Senate Hassan Nasrallah.
Okay. Can I then ask you, as we speak, Beirut, a city that was once known as the Paris of the Middle East, is now a battleground. Southern Lebanon is seeing some of the fiercest fighting we have seen in the recent past. You have the Hezbollah and the Israeli forces clashing. Israel, of course, says this is a limited operation to take out Hezbollah commanders, Hezbollah fighters, and their arms and war depots. Is that what you believe as well?
No, of course not. This is nonsense when they say our war is not with the Lebanese, our war is with Hezbollah. Hezbollah is not an imaginary structure coming to Lebanon by parachute. No, it's not. They are Lebanese. They live there. They have their land, their home. So this is Hezbollah. It's not like just a group of people coming to fight. They live there. They are ordinary citizens. But they have the right. I mean, it's guaranteed by any international law, the international law, and any other laws, humanitarian law, whatever, that every occupied people has the right to resist the occupier. So what's going on in Lebanon is pure occupation from the aggression from the Israeli side, and resistance, legal resistance from the Lebanese side.
So no, what are you telling me, Ambassador? You are telling me that Israel has entered southern Lebanon and is not fighting the Hezbollah, but is fighting ordinary citizens who are resisting.
I mean,
but how do these ordinary citizens have the sort of arms and ammunition to fight
when you are occupied,
someone like an Israel?
You can fight with whatever means you have. Of course, I'm not saying that Hezbollah is not there, but I mean to differentiate between Hezbollah and the normal citizen is wrong. And what the war criminal Netanyahu said, that we are not fighting the Lebanese, we are fighting Hezbollah, this is wrong. This is absurd. Because Hezbollah is part of the Lebanese population. This was my point. So yes, I mean, Hezbollah is there and they are fighting Israel, but this differentiation is not true.
You're saying that the world makes a differentiation between the Hezbollah and the Lebanese people, but for the Lebanese people and for the government, the Hezbollah is part of the Lebanese people because they are part of the Lebanese political structure as well.
Exactly. I mean, any resistance in any country, they are the citizens of this country.
But would you say that it is the Hezbollah, because there is a view in your country as well, that it is the Hezbollah that has pushed you into this current conflict? I mean, look at it. What happened on October 8th is something that happens. I understand, you know, the regional implications, but what started on October 7th, October 8th is between the Hamas and the Israelis. The Hezbollah is the one that escalates the matter, starts firing, missiles in Golan Heights, and that is how you're drawn into the war.
Do you believe or do you think that before October 7th, everything was quite normal and peaceful along our border? Everything before October 7th, every day was for us October 7th and October 6th, and every day we experienced Israeli incursion, Israeli aggression, Israeli violation of our airspace, of our land, of our sea. So it's not true that what happened on October the 7th started on October the 7th. It started 70 years ago of oppression, of occupation. Shreya, I know you are well aware of the history of our region. It started with what? With the creation of Israel, and then the occupation of West Bank, of Golan Heights, of Gaza, of Lebanese land, of even Sinai in Egypt. So this expansionism of Israel, policy of expansionism, and the war mindset of Israeli have led us to this point. Not holding Israel accountable for its war crimes all along its history and for genocidal wars have led us to this point, unfortunately.
But Israel will argue the same on the other side, to say that on October 7th, there were people, innocent people, women, children sleeping in their beds who the Hezbollah murdered in cold blood, 2,500 of them.
Okay, we're taking the story into another story, the talk into another story. But of course, I will answer you on this also. What Hamas carried the attack was on the land that it was theirs, and they were driven out of it. I mean, even they are settlers. Okay, they might be civilians, but I don't believe that there are any civilian in the Israeli settlement. They are all armed. But anyway, they are settlers. They drove out the Palestinians, the original Palestinian people, from their land. and driven them to Gaza Strip. You know that 80% of the Gaza population are displaced, are Palestinians displaced from the lands that they attacked. So, I mean...
But does that justify murder, cold-blooded murder,
I'm not
the way
saying
it happened?
it justifies resistance. Any kind of resistance is justified resistance. And yes, when your land is occupied, you can fight with your teeth and nails. Yes, we do.
But you're saying that those murders of Israeli citizens,
I'm not justifying civilian murders. I'm justifying resistance. You have to, when your land, it's not that you have the right to, but you have to fight your occupier. And yes, I mean, you are occupied. You are driven from your land. So what can do? And you see that no hope. All the channels are closed. Your enemy is only their mind is revolved around, unfortunately, around twisted religious doctrine that they are the chosen people, they are this chosen land or promised land. This is very dangerous. And when you build your strategy on twisted religious doctrine, you get this result. So they are risky. And I mean they should be stopped. They should be stopped. And until then, the occupied people have all the rights to resist.
1,100 people, I believe, have been killed in Lebanon. Some 1.2 or 1.5 million are displaced. It's the biggest displacement in your country. Right now, what is the biggest concern or worry for Lebanon? Because even your capital is now under attack.
It's about 900 people have been perished, so, innocent souls, and about 10,000 injured. And like you said, yes, 1.2 million displaced. So yeah, this is our biggest concern, because we also have, we don't have to forget the 2 million Syrian refugees whom Lebanon is hosting. So this pressure on Lebanon is too much, is too heavy. And that's why we're calling on the international community first to stop Netanyahu from this crazy war, and to help Lebanon with this unprecedented situation. It's very, very difficult.
But do you think he will stop? Do you think Netanyahu will stop? Because he's been very clear that right now the end goal is to take out the Hezbollah.
He said he would also want to take out Hamas, but after a year he said it's a couple of weeks, and then said a couple of months. It's been a year and he didn't take out Hamas. Why? Because Hamas, again, is not a fictional structure. They are the people of the land. They are there because their land is there, and they are defending their land. Same for us. He can't take Hezbollah. He can't come into the ground. They tried 2 days back, and they were inflicted with heavy casualties. About 15 soldiers were killed and many more injured. So no, they can't. They might have the air supremacy, and they might have white phosphorus, the banned weapons that they are using it on daily basis on Lebanon. They might have weapons of mass destructions and even nuclear power, but we have the will and we have the right on our side. That's why we will win. So they can't enter Lebanon. Of course, I mean they can, but they can't control. They can't occupy us again. We will resist.
Okay. Can I just draw your attention back to the Hezbollah? Just look at it from an outsider's point of view, right? Not someone who lives in the region,
True.
but someone who doesn't live in the region. It comes across as fairly odd that you have a political party that is also armed and controls your military and launches attacks from your soil on their neighbors. I understand they're part of the political structure, but if the world calls them, or a large section of the world calls them terrorists, the Hezbollah terrorists, are they unjustified then?
Look what I say. There are differences. It's not a secret that there are differences between the government and Hezbollah, and there has been always talk and dialogue. And but when it comes to political domestic policy, it is solved because Hezbollah plays by the rules of the political system, Lebanese political system. They are in the parliament, they are in the cabinet, they got elected, they elect. I mean, they exercise their normal political rights and duties. But when it comes to resistance, like I said, it's the right of every people to resist. Now they got their arms and they got money maybe from Iran. It's not secret. Yes, of course. I mean, they got maybe their assistance from anywhere to resist. This is another issue that can be solved domestically by the Lebanese party, and we have been doing this since, I mean, long time, since after the liberation of South Lebanon, I mean, most part of South Lebanon in 2002, when Hezbollah, I mean, liberated the land from Israel. There were some part of the land still occupied by Israel. What we say is that we are ready to implement the all United Nations resolution, especially 1701, and to get the Lebanese army into the borders. But who guarantees Israel? If the Americans themselves, they said we have no control on Hezbollah, on Netanyahu himself. So how can we, I mean, why would we just put the pressure on Hezbollah and not put the pressure on Netanyahu to stop the war?
So there is
who can guarantee us from this madness, from this criminal mindset of this war criminal Netanyahu?
So you are saying there is a certain degree of discomfort within Lebanon about the Hezbollah being a proxy of the Iranians, being funded by the Iranians, being armed by the Iranians as well?
There is, of course, I mean, there is, Lebanon, you know, is open to all political orientations. Everybody is opinionated in Lebanon. We have many political parties, dozens of them, and we have also 18 different religious sects. So Lebanon is a land of variety, and this is our richness in itself. But the issue when it comes to politics, yes, I mean, there is difference between Hezbollah and other political parties, and maybe the government, even though they are part of the government. But I mean, the official orientation of the cabinet is that Hezbollah is part of the Lebanese political system, but at the same time, this is maybe the dilemma. It is at the same time political party in the Lebanese political system, but it's a resistance group. And as a resistance group, they have the right to carry arms. So this is, yes, I mean, it is a debatable issue, but this is the reality, it's the fact.
It is what it is. Joe Biden is saying that he doesn't see an all-out conflict in the region.
Hopefully.
Is that how you see it as well? Or do you feel that for Lebanon, that all-out conflict has already begun?
I don't share his optimism, because if we want this optimism to be reality, then Mr. Biden, President Biden himself, and his administration have to, and they can, put pressure on Netanyahu to stop him. It's easy, because I believe that the only party who can stop Netanyahu is the USA. They're saying, so we've heard some American officials saying we have no control over Netanyahu. But they can't. They have to put a halt for this madness.
My last question to you from Lebanon's side, has there been an outreach to the Indian government at all? And if yes, then what has that been?
Thank you for bringing this question out, because we commend Indian efforts to solve this crisis peacefully. India has good relation with Israel, as you know, and also has very good relation with Lebanon and the Arab world in general. And we know for sure that they are in talk with all parties to de-escalate and to put an end to this. But again, we call upon our friendly government of India to exert more efforts on Netanyahu particularly and his racist cabinet to stop this war. India is the greatest investor one of the greatest investors in peace, and this has paid her a lot of good friends everywhere. We commend India on their approach and on their help to Lebanon. Also, you have a big contingent in the peacekeeping forces in the south.
900 of them.
900 to 1,000 of them in UNIFIL. And they are playing very good role, and we admire and commend this role.
And since you bring it up, everyone stays put there. The UN peacekeeping force in South Lebanon is staying put despite the conflicts.
Yes, of course.
Ambassador, thank you very much for your time here on Mirror.
Thank you so much. Thank you.